Well, one of the best performing categories for the past 3 months and longer than that has been meme coins. As you can see here, meme coins is basically the only narrative in the past 3 months that has outperformed Bitcoin by 1%. However, if you go from year to date, it's actually a little bit more significant. You can see here it's over 319%. Of course, this is based on a basket of different meme coins, and some meme coins do much better than others. But you can see here, this is also getting most of the volume. And it's not by just like a smidge, it's by a long shot. You can see here, AI is not even coming close. Memes are actually trumping that by over 400%, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. And I do think this will continue to run. But obviously, time will tell. We'll see what will happen in this. But in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about meme coins and why I do think they will continue to be strong. Now, do I think it's the death of all altcoins? Of course not. I don't think that. But I do think meme coins will continue to be strong. And I want to give my thesis on why that is. And I'll also talk to you guys about a couple of the different meme coins that you guys can look at in some of the different categories and how you can select different tokens. Anyways, if you guys are new to Drake on Digital, I talk all things crypto, DeFi, NFTs, meme coins, you name it. If that's your cup of tea, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's go and get into this. All right, so here is the biggest difference between meme coins and altcoins. If you take a look at these altcoins right here, I'm looking at Token Unlocks app. On this app, this shows you the different token unlocks that are coming up for these different tokens. So if you take a look at some of these newer tokens, like Neon, Saga, Eigen, ENA, Stark, Res, these are all pretty new tokens that you've probably heard about because they recently did an airdrop. Well, if you take a look at the amount of tokens unlocked, the amount of tokens that are about to hit the market are dwarfing the circulating supply. What this means is if you don't have the demand to exceed the amount of supply that's going to hit the market, the token number is going to go down. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these charts and have some fun. So the first chart we're going to look at is Neon. If you take a look at Neon, this thing did have its, I guess you can say, state of fame. When it first hit the market, it was the new shiny toy, the new shiny object. And then the token unlocks are like, nah, bruh, we're going to do this because the supply was exceeding the demand. Most people flock towards meme coins. And of course, right now, well, when Bitcoin and ETH are chopping, it's a PvP environment. Let's go ahead and take a look at Saga. This new airdrop, bag hold, stake it, you get a bunch of more airdrops, whatever, it will be good. Oh wow, that's a healthy chart. How about we look at Dimension? Dimension, also a bunch of token unlocks coming up. Yeah, stake this, bag hold, and get a bunch more airdrops. How did we do? Oh man, roasted. How about Tia? The darling of the bear market that came out and ended up melting faces. Well, unfortunately, Tia has some token unlocks coming up and people are finding new shiny objects. Thus, the stake Ponzi is starting to fall apart. So the point I'm trying to make is that the difference between meme coins and these different altcoins that you see is that just because you see a price and a circulation that's in the market or a market cap doesn't mean that's the actual market cap. With a lot of these altcoins, they have a bunch of supply that VCs and early investors ended up buying in at a super cheap price. Thus, when they do get those tokens unlocked, if the demand is not exceeding that supply, that the VCs are like, bruh, I'm going to lock in my billions or millions of dollars in profit, then it's going to go down. With meme coins, it's different. All of the supply is in circulation. However, the newer meme coins are not what they seem, and I'll explain that later in this video, so you do want to be careful with that. But I want to go into the second point, which a lot of these altcoins are launching at an extremely high FDV. In the previous bull run, you were able to buy some of these altcoins and be able to ride them up. So an example of this is Ethereum back in 2014. This launched at an ICO price of $18 million. Now you're probably looking at that and you're like, wow, that's like the average market cap of a traditional meme coin. And sure, actually back in the day, it probably was a bit of a higher market cap. But the point is like me looking to buy on the secondary. Of course, I know a little more about ETH now, but looking at the promises and what it delivers, it's like, okay, well, I could definitely see this doing like 3 or 4x, so it's worth a buy for me. However, when you come over and look at something like Starknet, who has a fully diluted valuation of $6 billion, I mean, in reality, what could I see this doing? And then if you take a look at Wormhole, which also did their airdrop, when it first launched, it launched around a $17 billion FDV. When you look at something like that, you're like, something's not adding up. Do I really think a bridge is going to be worth more than a Solana, like a layer 1 or even a optimism token? Then it's kind of like, this is the point I'm trying to make, is a lot of these new tokens, they have a mix of a high FDV and a bunch of tokens yet to hit the market. And then that leads me into the third. If you are a retail investor, you cannot get in on these VC rounds. You are unable to buy this token at pre-sale. It's because you aren't in the know, you don't have the networks, and they kind of just get to eat at that point. So in a way, these quote unquote VC tokens, the game is skewed against you. This is why there is a rally in a lot of these meme coins. It's considered a more fair game where you don't have the VCs who get in early and are basically controlling the game because they hold most of the supply. Now, I want to get into the next point, which has to do with utility. Meme coins don't have any utility, but this is technically a feature and not a bug. Hear me out. Here's why it's a feature. If there is no way to value a certain meme coin or a token or even a stock, how do you put a price on it? A perfect example of this is GameStop. Why did GameStop go as high as it did back in 2020? It wasn't because of its valuation metrics. It was losing money. The reason why it became a mainstay in the 2020 markets and ended up blasting off and melting faces, the reason for this was for a couple of things. The first had to do with the meme around the, sketchy stuff that goes on in the stock market and how the game is skewed against you. There was more shares that were shorted than that were in existence. Like, how do you do that? Well, the game is rigged. So GameStop became that central figure around how this game is rigged. So a lot of the Reddit boys behind Roaring Kitty rallied behind, they pumped the stock and they were like, hey, look, this is a representation or a meme of how the game is rigged. So they ended up sending the thing to billions and billions in market cap. And then, of course, the stock market plays their funny games and then issues more shares. And eventually you have the same issue we have with a lot of these VC tokens. Excess supply exceeding the demand that's there. However, the price of GameStop was not representing what its valuation should have been. It was more so the valuation on the meme of the stock and what it represented, that the stock market is rigged. Now, those are just a couple of points in the thesis, but to summarize where we're at, first is meme coins are different from the VC tokens because they're fully in circulation. You don't have that mysterious, oh, when are these tokens going to hit the market? And you also don't have that issue of like, this thing is launching at billions in market cap. How high do I actually think this is going to go? In reality, what it boils down to is people are in the crypto markets because they want to make money. They buy low and sell high, or at least that's what they want to do. I mean, most of the time we just buy high and sell low. It works great. Third, no utility is actually a feature and not a bug. If there is no utility and no way to value these things, you can't really put a ceiling on these things. Whereas if it has a valuation, then there is theoretically a ceiling on the token. Tukes, chill out, bro. I also want to add on to that. Most of the time, these retail investors, they don't even really understand what the utility is for. And at the end of the day, what it boils down to is really everything is a meme coin. I mean, if you go to a protocol and it says, hey, you need this token to use this, this, and this, and that protocol becomes non-existent or nobody cares about using it, at that point in time, that token is really valueless, thus a meme coin. But hey, that's for a different day. And then lastly, most of the time, there's no insiders in meme coins. However, up until recently, the past few months, there are big time insiders that we call them the cabal. They get in early and they end up dumping on everyone, but there is a way to get around that. I'll talk to you guys about that later. But the point I'm trying to make is there are theoretically no insiders on these meme coins. At some point in time, they had to buy in early. Now, it's a little bit rigged now because people are using bots. They're getting in early. They're getting in an inside group. They're saying, we're launching this token. Go ahead and snipe up the supply, or they hold back a portion of the supply and distribute it out. But in theory, with meme coins, everyone gets in on the ground floor and there aren't insiders. So I can get in, you can get in, we can all get in at the same price. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go over a couple of the different meme coin categories, and then I'll go over some tools that you guys can use. There's 5 of them, or actually 5 things you guys can look for or look at and determine if your meme coin is at least worth some coffee money. When I say coffee money, guys, a little bit goes a long way with these memes, especially when you're investing like sub 2 mil market cap. You don't need to be throwing like thousands and thousands of dollars at this. Like if you're investing at sub mil cap and it ends up going hundreds of millions to billions, bro, like you don't need to invest that much. Doing 100x, 1000x, or even like a 500x on $100 is massive. That'll give you 50 grand. Like if it does a 500x. So it's kind of like, dude, it's coffee money, and you use the DigiDart strategy and spread your bets amongst these things. If you size up and that thing doesn't go, like it doesn't launch and it ends up rugging, you lose all that money. So spread your bets. So diversification is pretty good in this category, unless you have a stronger meme. Now, talking about the different meme coin categories you have autism, which is going to be things like SPX 6900. Just Google the ticker or go on Twitter and look it up and you'll understand why. You have ticker Bitcoin. Actually, I'll just go and click on the website and then you'll understand. Like, it's like what the snap is going on. And this is going to be something that's like autism. Like, what is going on right here? There's so much going on. I don't know where to start. Now, don't even get me started on ticker Bitcoin. Once you go to this website, you're like, bruh, what the snap is going on? I got a wizard wand. Whoa, what is going on? And then they have like a movie you could play and it's like, okay, this is autism category. There are some other tickers for that like Joe, Kakak. I could go on and on. The next category is going to go to the 4chain memes. Most of you guys know this one. This one is Pepe. 4chain is kind of like the other side of the internet. It's more of the uncensored side of the internet. So be careful if you're messing around with that stuff. But this is where you can find some of these different tickers. Pepe is an iconic meme coin, especially, well, an iconic meme in 4chain. You also have Apu. This is the more commonly known Pepe that you guys see. You know, it's like the softer version, like the more rounded eyes, not as sharp, etc. You also got Brett. This is part of the Matt Fury boys club type of thing. You have OK Egg. This is technically the Pepe of Twitch. And then you also have things like, not Wormhole, Wojak. This is basically that, you know, that Wojak thing that you see on Twitter. It's just what it's called. I don't know how to explain it. The face with the, I don't know. It's Wojak. It just looks like the goofy guy on Twitter that you most likely see. Now the next one is going to be like culture coins, Giga Chad, and then you have Frog. This one is not considered a 4chain meme, but this one's more of like a animal meme. This thing did a CTO a month ago. No, it wasn't even that long. And this thing absolutely melted faces. This thing came from like 100K market cap and it's like 6.7 mil. Obviously, time will tell. We'll see what will happen on it. But it's kind of like a influencer CTO where they have a couple of the middle-sized names, not like your Ansem-sized names, but like the middle-sized crypto influencers in on this one. And I think it's a pretty good quote-unquote influencer CTO. So obviously, time will tell. We'll see what will happen with something like this. It's just an iconic meme that's on Twitter. It's on TikTok. It's Think of it like the weightlifter dude. It's the Giga Chad. Like, bro, this guy's a Chad, Giga Chad, etc. Then you have Aura. This one is actually a really popular meme, more iconic than I thought it would be. I actually think this is pretty undervalued at these levels at a 15 mil valuation. Aura is basically like you do different things and you get aura points. So like plus 1,000 aura, plus 1,500 aura if you do this, this, or this type of thing. That is the meme. This is actually a pretty viral trend over on TikTok. It's a little bit on Twitter too. And actually I was playing pickleball the other day and I was on the court next to me and they were like, yeah, this is how I can boost my aura. And I was like, bruh, like what? This is such a small world. And then another one is like, let him cook. Like, come on, guys, think of it. It's a culture meme. Like he's cooking. Like, is he no, he's not cooking. It's just a figure of speech that, hey, look, he's getting stuff done. Or like the price goes up and it's like the dev is cooking. Dev is definitely cooking right now. What does that mean? It just means the dev is putting the work in. It doesn't mean he's actually cooking food, but yeah. Another one is Zen. Zen, I don't like this type, but this is a definitely a culture coin. This is one of those things that people are like, oh, okay, I pop Zens all the time, so I vibe with it. Zen, it's like, you know, the drug. But yeah, that's Zen coin for you. This is a culture coin. So there is a community around that they call them Zenners, and that's what Zen is. You also have one of the most iconic culture memes that most of you have heard about is Mog or Mog coin. It's basically just kind of a, not a figure of speech, but a action. So basically mogging someone is like being better than someone. This one is pretty viral on TikTok. And it's also viral on Twitter and YouTube as well. But basically when someone mogs someone, it's like they're superior and like, bro, I just mogged you, like, oh, type of thing. You can also categorize Zen as one of the object coins. And yes, they do have other object coins. Another example is like White Monster. You can also consider this kind of a culture coin too, because the dudes who drink White Monsters, like apparently there is like a culture around these guys. Usually they are the, do you even lift, bro? Like the weightlifter dudes and that type of thing. And then we can go into dogs and cats, and then you can go into cute, like Boop. Boop is categorized as a dog. It's also cute. Then you have Dog in the Pool. I love this thing. It's literally a dog with goggles. I gotta go to their Twitter. It's funny. But Dog in the Pool, it's a dumb meme, but it's cute. It's funny. It's a dog. Makes me laugh. Makes me smile. This is something that I like. Dog in the pool. Dip. And then, of course, Boop. Like, bro, don't overthink this. It's Boop. Of course, it's on Arbitrum, so it's kind of getting roasted right now. But hey, maybe it'll come back. We'll see what it does. I'm holding my Boop. I like Boop. And of course, you can't complete the dog coins without the most iconic one on Solana, which basically started the meme coin rally. Well, I would say Bonk was pretty big too, but Dog with Hat. This one melted faces. This was a very successful CTO. And then going into our cats, we got things like Michi, you got Popcat. We still have yet to have $1 billion cat. There also is one on Bitcoin. It's called Billy or $1 billion cat. I think that one is going to be pretty strong. You also have Geeko. Geeko is cool. This one is kind of the first cat or the cat meme of the internet. They ended up making a meme coin, and Geeko is pretty strong play in my opinion. I mean, stinking at a 7 mil cap, I think this is going to do something. But obviously time will tell. We'll see what will happen. And then one of my favorite cat coins is Long Cat. I just like the meme. It's funny. The cat stays long. Like if you go on Twitter, they just got some good memes. Like the whole meme is the cat just being really, really long. It's just a white cat. It's what we call a clean meme. It's not dirty. It's just a long cat. That's all it is. And then lastly, of course, you have like some made up categories like the Chinese meta. There's no such thing as a Chinese meta, but hey, people are going to make different narratives and themes. So hey, if you're playing the meme coin game, you kind of have to understand the games and have a little bit in different places, especially with the memes, because these things, they will literally melt faces. You could literally make up your own category like that. That's how the meme coin game is, and that's kind of how simple it is. But Let's go and end it off with 5 different things that I do look for. I'm trying to keep this video a bit shorter. I don't want to go super long into it, but I want to show you guys one of my favorite tools to at least start with after I think I've found a good meme. And this has to do with bubble maps. Bubble maps will kind of give you a overview of the different holders, and it will tell you like, hey, look, be careful, or tread accordingly, or stay away. Now, this isn't always a tall tale, because just because the supply is super centralized doesn't mean it's going to get roasted. And the reason I say that is if they don't sell, the number won't go down. It just means they hold most of the tokens. So here's Pepe, for example, on ETH. You can see here over time, it just kind of rolls out. And now you have a bunch of exchanges that hold this thing. But overall, this token is fairly distributed. Thus why you have, what is the market cap? Almost a $5 billion market cap on something like Pepe. Now, here's an example of a bad holder distribution. That doesn't mean it's going to be terrible or go to zero, but it just means, hey, be careful. There are some whales in this thing, and they may look to dump if they do look to sell. And sure enough, what happened to Tezuki? Well, Tezuki had its claim to fame, and it got absolutely roasted. But it's not over, in my opinion. There's a thing called a CTO. A CTO is when the community takes over CTO, community takeover. They take over the token and they end up running it back. And this is usually after the insiders or the devs sell. If you take a look at the Tezuki token supply, you can see here there were a bunch of warnings. The first being that there was a couple of wallets that were actually connected that held a lot of the supply. And then you also had a number of wallets that all had a similar amount of the supply. This tells me these are usually connected, or they are usually coordinating a bot launch, etc. The amount of tokens held by the top 20 holders was actually pretty significant. They had a large amount of the supply. So thus, this is like, okay, something is up. Maybe they'll do something, maybe they won't. And you can see here they did end up running it up because they weren't selling. But eventually they do want to take profits and exit out of the quote-unquote Chinese meta and just take their money and run. Thus, you had the CTO come up. So bubble maps and looking for the CTOs. There are a couple of ways to see the CTO, and one is with the tags. Usually at this point in time, you kind of miss the best part of the entry when it has the label of CTO and they label the community claim. If you are following a particular token, the quickest way to find out if it's doing the CTO is in that Telegram group. If you notice that the devs rug, and you notice on the Twitter that they stopped tweeting, those are signs to get in the Telegram group and to see if there's a community going to develop around this token itself. One of my favorite ones was Apu. Apu, the dev rug, like absolutely roasted everyone. And what happened was the community ended up taking it over and it rode to where it is now. I want to show you guys the point where the dev rugged. We got to go on a fifth. No, it's going to take too long to do that. If you go on the 4-hour chart, you can kind of see it. The dev just rugged and said, bruh, where actually, no, this was the second rug. There's multiple rugs on this thing. But the first one was like on this or something. I can't even remember. There's been so many quote unquote rugs on Apu. It's not just rugs. It's just people exiting. But that was your time to get in at something like this. And this is when the community takeover first formed. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's this one on March 15th. And the reason why CTOs are good is because these guys who ended up buying their bags at the ground floor or around that level, it's in their best interest to pump their bags. And especially if you get a really good CTO and some diamond hands in there, they don't sell. And they just keep grinding and shilling, grinding and shilling. And that is what meme coins are. It's the attention economy. And the more attention they can draw, which these guys have already drawn in a lot of attention with things like McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell, etc. And they are getting their name out there. Apu is just one of those meme coins I like, but we'll see what happens with it. Now, the next thing you want to look for is the Telegram being active. I'm going to show you guys Apu as an example. I hadn't been on the Apu Telegram in about a week, and I have 46,000 missed messages. Now, they aren't directly to me, but this is just kind of what's going on in the community. You want to have a active Telegram group. Like, you want to see these guys popping off. These guys literally have a message like every minute or every other minute. And this is only a 160 mil market cap token. The TG is active. That's what you want to look for. And again, all the alpha is mainly going to be in the TG, especially for a CTO. That's where you're going to first hear about it. It's in the Telegram group. Now, of course, there are times that it happens on Twitter, but it's all organized on the Telegram group. And you'll be able to see like, oh, the dev just roasted, they just rugged, etc. Now, the fourth thing you need to look for is the Twitter. You want to make sure the Twitter point is on game and the guys are active. If the Twitter account is, it's okay with the memes, you need to make sure the team is really good at shilling and grinding. It's not just the main Twitter account. You want to look for the alt accounts. So the other people, the community members that are around this. If they are out there and being reply guys on all these different tweets and different groups and going out there on Twitter and getting the name out there, that is the team and the community you want to get behind. It's actually pretty easy to gauge this. For me, at least, I have a larger following on Twitter, so I can just make a post or reply to it, and I could see the shill army. Or sometimes on my YouTube videos, if a meme coin or a community gets onto my video and basically starts rating it, that is a really good sign of the type of community that there is. Now, there are a couple of tickers that I gave you, like Boop, you have Geeko, you have Michi. These guys have a really good shill army. Just go ahead and search their ticker and look at the style of their community. You can actually practice this in being a reply guy on some random meme coin tweet. Someone who's like, yeah, what's the next 100x meme coin? You can reply to that and say, hey, I think Michi is the next one. And then you'll see the engagement that you'll get from it. That is a pretty good gauge on the community. And then lastly, I want to leave it at where the liquidity is at. You want to stay away from these dead chains. Do not be looking for the top meme coin on something like Kronos or something like Harmony One. The chain itself is a meme. Like, they don't need another meme coin. Look for things like Solana. Look for things like Ethereum. Look for things like Telegram or Ton token. Those are chains that have growing liquidity. A really cool tool you guys can use for this is DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama will allow you to see the liquidity flowing to these different chains. DeFi Llama will be some good alpha you guys can use to determine if there's liquidity coming to it. But I'll save you guys the hassle. Solana, Ethereum, and Telegram. Those are the ones that I see for now. Yes, there are some other ones that are up and coming, but for now, those are the ones to focus on. And then lastly, lastly, part B is using Dex Screener. Dex Screener is a really good tool to tell if there is like any rugs, if it's sus, if it's okay. And you can just go under this Go Security tab right here. Usually a lot of the green stuff is good, but it will tell you about the taxes. Stay away from stuff that has taxes. That's just my philosophy on it. Anyways, guys, I want to keep this video short. Let's go ahead and hit you guys with Proverbs chapter 19 verses, we'll call it 10. Yeah, 10. Proverbs chapter 19 verses 10. It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury. How much worse for a slave to rule over its princes. That's so true, man. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Tell me what you guys think of the video and your favorite meme coins. And if you guys want to join the exclusive Discord, I'm a lot more active over there. You guys can check that out in the description below. Now, keep in mind, guys, these are beta assets. They are risky. They are degen. There is the reflexivity aspect to these meme coins in respect to Bitcoin and ETH. So if Bitcoin and ETH and Solana, of course, if those are nuking and not doing well, these meme coins will absolutely like vaporize like worse than a nuke. So if Bitcoin and ETH are down like 2%, these meme coins will go down like 20, 30, 40%. They're very reflexive assets, and the opposite is true. If the markets end up rallying like 10%, 5%, these meme coins will absolutely melt faces. So keep that in mind with these. Never overinvest into these. I would say this is like no more than 3 to 5% of the portfolio, and keep your most of the portfolio, not financial advice, of course, into a core holding like the Bitcoin and ETH. That way, if these do end up going to zero or you have some really bad picks, at least you don't miss the boat. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.